I think that we can have a much better debate on murder. And murder is a problem. I mean, let's face it, murder is South Africa's main problem for me. Other people might say there's other main issues, but I think we are in a pretty dire strait when it comes to murders. We are, one of these days, we may be the #1 in the world. And the fact of the matter is, we will have to look at murders. And I, for example, earlier this week said that I think that the debate that was in Parliament on Tuesday, I think it was Tuesday afternoon, which was actually quite a hectic debate, that debate would have been more rational to me if we could talk about all murders. And one of our biggest problems is we know about farm murders, which is 49 for now. Maybe this year it will look much worse if that 30 is correct, which I've heard about an hour ago. But we talk about murders, and we know there's farm murders. We know there's GBV, that is gender-based violence, femicide. It's now a new concept, GBV-F. Femicide, where the intimate partner kills the other partner. And we have figures there, but that figures is also a bit of thumbs up because we use domestic violence figures, which is clearly not equal to GBV. GBV is something different from domestic violence. Domestic violence is father on child and child on parents, those type of things. And that's not GBV. But the fact of the matter is the only figures that we have of murders is police members, murders of police members, and murders of farmers. Now, and which is not also clearly not all farmers. So what we need is that when a murder is registered, the investigating officer or the person who registered, or then after a few hours, the investigating officer should decide that, look, I have got 10 theories here, but I think this is a farm attack. To me, just now look at a farm attack. Mr. So-and-so and his wife of 70 years were killed in Wolmaranstad on Friday evening during what was seen as a robbery. So I'm going to register this for now as a farm attack. Later, I may find out it was a hit or it was something else. But that's not the issue now. Let's register crimes. And then when you have a street robbery, somebody is found in the street and he was shot with a firearm, and clearly his cell phone is gone, his wallet is gone, and whatever. You register that as a street robbery. And clearly, if somebody is hijacked in their car and they are killed in the process, well, that's a robbery as a result of carjacking. Taxi violence would be quite easy. Gang violence is quite easy to register that as this murder is a result of gang violence. But there may be a question mark. And later investigation may show that this was actually nonsense. The police just use it as an excuse for some accident. They shot bullets and somebody was hit, and now they say, oh no, but this is a crossfire with a gang. But that will only be later. But for purposes of fighting this scourge of murder, we need to know exactly what is our segments. And then, because each segment will have a different strategy. Farm attacks or farm murders, let me rather prefer to farm murders and not farm attacks. They will be having a strategy. There must be a specific strategy there, but there will be another strategy when it comes to taxi murders, and another strategy when it comes to vigilante murders and GBV and all the rest. Then also, I think it can help, although the figure is small, but I think what can help is if these attacks are at least not only the murders, but the attacks are geo-mapped. It's mapped on a map, and we can then see where there is some concentrations. If I just look at the newspapers, and especially one newspaper which report quite frequently on farm attacks, I must say I think that we will find that the biggest concentration will be in the periphery of our biggest cities. Places like Muldersdrift, Kameeldrift, just to mention two, there's many others, where you have the small holdings And those are very dangerous areas, actually, for murders. And I think this, if we have the full categories, all the categories, I think it will help a lot to prevent further politicization of the issue. Because the problem with farmer tax is it is highly politicized at this stage. And I think that is actually counterproductive. Maybe that is actually opening a lot of debates, which is unnecessary in a country, in a very deeply divided society like South Africa.